is there any actionable tips that people can have right away to maybe implement later, and then obviously work with you or buy the book to be the sort of the secondary options there? But anything you want to specifically, tactical tips you want to leave with people?
Yeah, definitely. Let me write the number 3 down. I always like to put things in threes. So I think the first one right out of the gate when it comes to suicide, and this was something I had said, oh, hey, I want to get to, and this is in the book. I kind of basically promised people with the book is I won't give you a book where it's like, here's this research, and let me explain it a little bit and write it in a cool way. Basically, it was like, I will rip out all the research. Just trust me, I read it, and I'll give you the like what it's really, how it's useful,
The
right?
juice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I made one exception, which is this idea of mindfulness meditation. So I never thought I'd end up when I started this journey, I never thought this would be part of my answer. But when it comes to suicide and sleep, one of the studies in the middle of the book, one of the chapters is called Observing Silence, right? And it's about meditation. The studies, and there's this one where they were like, actually, I love this about Americans. Instead of being like, well, most of the studies are like a half an hour meditation. Aaron, let's do a study with, most places they're like 45 minutes. America's like, let's see what happens if we cut it down to 15 minutes. So I'm like, 15 minutes? So basically the study showed, well, we got these people together 3 times a week. I think they were college age students. And we had them do this mindfulness meditation for 15 minutes. And we suggested they do 1 or 2 sessions during the off week. Well, what they found statistically significant results months later was that suicidal ideation and attempts dropped through the floor. So the number one thing tactically that I would say to you, if suicide has ever been a problem and sleep has, get busy learning, find somebody, I don't care if it's me or whoever, call Aaron, he'll teach you, to start integrating mindfulness meditation. And if you're like, I don't have time, that argument's stupid. You got 15 minutes in a day?
Yeah.
And then if I wanted to be really tactical, Aaron, I'd say sneak it into the mid-afternoon somewhere.
Okay.
That's where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. The second thing I think that's the most shocking to people, one of the chapters in the book is called Fix Night with Day. And I think this is something for people to really, again, like I'm going to work on that, like sleep stupidity. This is the old idea. I'm going to get better sleep with the things I do at night. The vast majority of what comes out in terms of the quality and depth of your sleep at night is dependent on the quality and activity of what you do during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So we could go into different things about that, but I would just say one thing that would have, if you're like, man, I have, insomnia like Nick did, or at least that I can relate to it. One of the things I think would have cut off 1.5 years, maybe 2 of it, would if someone had just said, Nick, get out of bed before 10 and get that skinny ass of yours out on the street and walk for 20 to 30 minutes and let the sun just kind of come into the side of your eye. Sounds like totally simple. You have to have the will to do it. But strangely enough, it will create the serotonin necessary that later in the night is the precursor to the melatonin that will then help transition you into sleep. And I would say that again, like how many things can I really say would have probably cut 1 year to 1.5 years off? It's just that. It's just get up in the morning and get some sun, So those are the 2 major ones. And then I think if I really had to think seriously about where suicide and sleep meet, this is gonna, and I've laughed even when I've assigned this. There is some, and there is plenty of research that has shown that this is true. I don't know that they can explain why, but again, guys, these things don't need to be huge. I'm talking like 7 minutes at night of just some free writing in a journal.
Yeah.
That's it. The correlations that show you sleep better because of it there's just tons of research that I often find myself adding that to someone's nighttime routine, and it's super effective. It's also super effective for depression and suicide because you're expressing yourself. You're getting some of these things out, which is allowing you to have a secondary reflection about it, which is sometimes all you need to stop yourself from taking that last step to killing yourself. So those are my big three.